Trade deadline less than 48 hours away, and league-leading Florida, they made a big move this afternoon, acquiring Vladimir Tarasenko from Ottawa. The Senators will receive a conditional 2024 fourth-round pick that would become a 2026 third-round pick if the Panthers win the Stanley Cup, which many after this trade today said they absolutely will. They will also receive a 2025 third-round pick, and they are retaining 50% of Tarasenko's $5 million salary. So that's what it looks like. We caught this news this afternoon, guys, shortly after our production meeting. And, I mean, Repper, what were your first thoughts when you see this? This is a team that's already stacked and primed to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Do we got the board here of Tarasenko's playoff performances? I love that. That was a good point. This is something. I looked at this. I looked at this when the Rangers acquired him. And when you go back and you look, I mean, he's got 44 goals and 97 games in the playoffs. I mean, that's up there with everybody. When I say everybody, that means Nathan McKinnon. That means Alex Ovechkin. He's got holes in his game. I'll say that.
Stay on that board.
But he scores goals in the playoffs, and he can flip a game, a series with one shot. So I think any team that adds him, that what you're seeing right there, that doesn't, that matters come playoff time.
And stay on this board, because the 44 goals, to your point, which is really impressive to me, right, is it's harder to score goals in the playoffs. You have to pay the heavier price to score. The fact that he scored 44 is mind-boggling to me.
Because he'll get in traffic, though. Like, we've seen
it. He'll go to the hard areas.
You've seen this guy, and I remember even playing against him. Like, he's a smooth 240. Like, he can be in traffic. He's got a great shot. Can he score from distance as a perimeter shooter? Absolutely. But does he need to? No, man. He's a big boy. He can get in there and get things done. So that's playoff hockey. We'll see how it plays out, but I think this is one that I was really curious where Vlad would end up. I'm pretty sure he had his no-move clause, so he had some say there. Big shocker, he chose South Florida. But
door number one, please.
Yeah, so I like this one. I think it's going to be a great fit.
And he trains there in the offseason, Kevin, you were talking about. Has some friends on the team, so this is a comfortable, familiar place for him. But I'm curious, sometimes when a superstar is added to a team that's already loaded, it can go one of two ways. He can fit in seamlessly, or maybe it might be too much and it disrupts the chemistry of the team. So how do you anticipate this one playing out?
That is where the great chef, the Michelin chef that is head coach Paul Maurice, is going to have to really manage this, because this team's already stacked. Tarasenko's not something that they needed, but he's definitely something that they wanted. And they wanted him going back to, the All-Star weekend in South Florida and probably prior to that. So Vladimir Tarasenko slotting in with this group, it gives them another dynamic weapon. But to your point, you have to be very conscious of not making somebody else upset at this point. This team's all in. I talked to Paul Maurice about this a little while back. He's like, listen, our team, everybody's all about team here. We're all focused on one thing, that's winning the cup. I don't even hardly have to coach this team. That's how automatic it is for our focus and the way our guys approach things. So at least they've got that great base where that's concerned.
And they're insulated. The player is insulated. Like, he doesn't have to go there and save the day.
Right.
They're already arguably the best team in the league. But when I go back, let's get the Claude Giroux trade up there, because this is something that I find unique. You remember back then, you said that not what they need. It's talking about Tarasenko, something they wanted.
Yes.
Well, back in the day, in this trade going down in 2022, this was the President's Trophy winning team that was leading the league in offense. They didn't need Claude Giroux. They wanted Claude Giroux. But the difference here is that year's team was a completely different team than what we've seen last year in the playoffs and this year in Florida. This year in Florida, I mean, are they a possession team? They give up the puck to get it back. And they get it back because they hit you, and they hit you, and they hit you, and they forecheck, and they pressure you all over the ice. They defend. So now bringing in Tarasenko is actually giving you a little scoring punch that maybe, they have a foundation of what they are now. Back then, it was like they were already scoring a ton. I don't know if they need, and Claude Giroux, I love Claude Giroux. At the time, I was like, hey, if you got the ability to bring in Claude Giroux, and you go and do it. But I think it's a little bit different now, because this team, like you mentioned, they're a well-oiled machine. Like, they go out there and they're going to punch you in the chin, and they're going to keep on going. They're going to keep driving, pucks to the net. All right, we got Tarasenko. If things go sour, put the puck on his stick. He'll change it quick.
Or if it goes the other way, and to your point with Paul Maurice, he's the type of coach that will have no problem benching Tarasenko and saying, okay, it's not working out right now, so we're going to go with a different line change or whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
So, okay, interesting. Do stay tuned.